Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Naomi, and let's dream about beauty. In today's video, I have for you part 4 of my eyeshadow palette collection. If you're interested in looking through some beautiful palettes and seeing what I have, then just keep on watching. So in part 3, we left off halfway through the letter M. I am doing this sort of alphabetically, and we're going to pick up halfway through the letter M, and that is with the Morphe. The first palette I have to show you is the Morphe 18A Blue Ya Away palette. So this is a beautiful cool tone palette from Morphe. I don't know why this one is there. It seems like it's a little bit out of place. There's some beautiful shimmers and some nice mattes, some silvers and blues. All in all, it is a beautiful palette. That is a very pretty color. So those are the swatches. I got this from Sephora, I want to say about a year ago maybe? I don't remember exactly when. But this is the 18A Blue Ya Away. Next we have the Morphe 35M Boss Mood palette. This is one of their large, oversized palettes. It is a red, purple, neutral, and green color story. I love this color story. I haven't used this palette very much. I was really attracted to these greens when this first came out. And there's a very nice orange. But you never thought you'd hear me say that, huh? That orange is pretty, and the green matte is really nice, but these two shimmers are kind of lackluster. So I don't have a solid opinion on this. I don't use my Morphe palettes very often. I haven't taken this out in ages. I may declutter it at some point, maybe if my mom wants it. We'll see. The 35M Boss Mood. And next we have the Morphe 25L. This is the live-in color. This palette was for Pride Month. I think not last year, but maybe the year before. It is a rainbow palette with some beautiful, that one is so pretty, beautiful shades. You can see there, that's like a topper shade. It's a white and green duochrome. A nice light green shimmer, light blue shimmer, and a beautiful medium blue. So yeah, this is a really pretty palette and I'm happy to have it. Next we have the Morphe Vault collection with Jaclyn Hill. I have all 4 palettes. First of all, we have Ring the Alarm. You may recall that there was quite a bit of controversy with this release. I was happy with my palettes. I did not find them to be of inferior quality. Next we have Bling Boss, which is my second favorite. I just love these mauve tones. Especially this one. Next we have the Dark Magic palette. This one is my favorite. I love the depth of this, the greens and the blues. This taupe right here, this silvery taupe, I just adore shades like that. Kind of lost track of what I was doing with my fingers there. Dark Magic. And last but not least, we have Armed and Gorgeous. This coin shade is a really beautiful shade in this palette. Very pretty. Next we have the Morphe 39A Dare to Create, this huge palette. I wanted this so bad. This was the first thing I ever ordered from Ulta back when they used to ship to Canada. And I thought it was such a great idea having this large row of neutral transition shades. And then you've got more neutrals, some reddish pinks, greens, and dark deep shades, and then some blues over here. I've had this for a long time, and it's still, the colors still feel rich and creamy. Oh, well, that one doesn't seem so good. That one's nice. So I'm not too sure what to do with this palette. I think what I am going to do is I'm going to keep it for now, and I'm going to ask my mom what she thinks of it, and she probably won't want such a big palette, but she might want some of these shadows. So I might depot it and give her, you know, I know she likes the blues, and she might like some of the greens. So whatever colors strike her fancy, I will depot and then give to her in a smaller palette. Is kind of what I was thinking. And the last Morphe palette I have is the Morphe 39S. Such a Gem palette. And this is what it looks like. It has this middle row here. These are topper shades. And then it has sort of 4 color stories. This one, that, this down here, and then this sort of warmer section right here. And it goes nice and dark. It also goes nice and light, so it is a palette that has everything you possibly could want, except blues, but that's okay. These shadows still feel nice. Again, a topper shade. That one feels really nice to swatch. Yeah, those are pretty. I really need to get this out and use it more often. Now that I look at it, I remember how much I wanted it when I first saw it. I ordered it straight away. It's the Morphe 39S, Such a Gem. Next we have the Musee Beauty Impressionism palette. And it is a beautiful spring palette with these gorgeous spring and summer colors. This makes me think of flowers and beauty. It is so pretty. I bought this on the recommendation of Annette's Makeup Corner. She reviewed it and said it was one of the best palettes that she reviewed last year at the time. Oh, that's such a pretty pink. The swatches feel nice and soft and silky. Beautiful palette. That is the Impressionism palette by Musee Beauty. I think I've done one look with this and I was pretty happy with how it came out. And it has a nice dark color here for deepening up your shadow. So that's good. Next we have a smaller 9-pan palette from Musee Beauty. This is called Le Jardin. And it is a pink, red, purple, and green color story. Very pretty. This also speaks to me of springtime. This is currently in my Shop My Stash, waiting for me to do a beautiful summertime, springtime look. So it is almost summer. Those are really pretty shimmers. So yeah, this is the Musee Beauty Le Jardin, which means the garden. Alright, so next we have the Nabla Wild Berry Cutie palette. It is a cute little 6-pan palette. It is berry toned, berry shades, as the name would suggest. The rest, so it's got 1, 2, 3 shimmers and 4 mattes. That is really pretty. I really like colors like this. You can see that it's got good dimension to it, and yeah, these are really pretty swatches. Next we have the Nabla Platinum Cutie palette. I saw Angelica Nyquist do a really beautiful look with this, and I've wanted it ever since. So I managed to get these palettes when the Canadian Morphe site started selling Nabla, and that's how I managed to get my hands on them. Ooh, see, now that one is that's a really good swatch. Oh my God. I have been slayed. Oh, that is gorgeous. Wow. I think I found the best silver in my collection. Okay, next we have my Natasha Denona Mini Retro palette. This is a cute little palette with some beautiful cool tone colors. This is an outstanding shade. I love it when it pulls green or gray. You don't really know. It's somewhere in the middle. It looks so pretty. That's the Mini Retro. Next we have the Natasha Denona Cranberry palette. I got this in a BoxyCharm. That is a really beautiful pink color. Ooh, I like that orange. This is swatched beautifully. Really pretty. I need to use this more. Next we have the Natasha Denona Glam palette. When I saw this, I thought this is the palette of my dreams. It still is. I love this palette so much. Definitely a top 10 in my collection. It's kind of like that question, if you lost all of your makeup, what would you buy first? This would be definitely in the running. These shimmer shades just feel really silky and smooth. I just love these cool tone colors so much. That is the Natasha Denona Glam palette. Next we have the Natasha Denona Love palette. I bought this when it came out, not this past year, but the year, sorry, not 2021, but 2020. It came out for Valentine's Day. And it is a really pretty palette. I was happy with the looks that I got out of it. Very pretty. I need to play with this more. I say that for all my palettes, but seriously, one of my favorite things about filming this series is just seeing all of the treasures that I have in my collection and realizing I have so many beautiful palettes, and it just excites me all over again to play with my makeup. So, and you know, that is really helping me feel more motivated and happier, and I'm able to, you know, fight the depression that makes you feel like you just want to stay in bed and lethargic and not do anything and feel sad. Yeah, this is really helping, so yay. Next we have the Natasha Denona Circle Local. This is a beautiful palette and the colors are gorgeous. It is a little bit sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? There doesn't seem to be no rhyme nor reason to where the shadows are placed, and so it's a little bit jarring to the eyes. And I have seen people who have reorganized it so that the color story is more pleasing. I probably would not use this for a complete look. Instead, I would use this to just pick one or two shadows out of, like, for example, you know, maybe this one, or these two blues, or these two purples, or this pink and this burgundy. And yeah, I would put together a look that way. These shimmers feel very rich. That is so beautiful. So yeah, a very high quality palette. It is absolutely gorgeous. There's just no question about it. And I love that it has so many shimmers in it. That is the Circle Local. Next we have the Natasha Denona Biba palette. So this is what I purchased when I had a $100 gift card at Sephora. You can redeem 2,500 points and you can get a $100 gift card in the Rewards Bazaar. And I didn't know whether to get the Metropolis palette or this palette, but I decided that I had more room in my collection for a neutral palette than I did for a colorful palette. And the Metropolis palette has a lot of warm tones that I knew I wouldn't use. So this one is a little bit warm toned up in this corner, but it's also cool toned around in here. So you can do a cool tone look, or you can do a more neutral slash warm look. So, you know, it gives you the best of both worlds. It's really pretty. For a long time I was only buying really super colorful palettes and I wasn't buying a lot of neutral palettes. I didn't really see why people wanted neutral palettes, but then I realized that I do appreciate a neutral look as much as I appreciate a colorful look, if not more so. The only thing I could wish for in this palette are more shimmers and less mattes. I love that gray. And that's so weird to say because not many people say, ooh, I love that gray. But I do love gray. All 50 shades. I'm just kidding. Next we have the Natasha Denona 28 Blue Purple palette. And that's what it looks like. She is a beauty. So it was Merry Moods and Makeup that got me buying this. It was Black Friday of 2020, and she asked me if I'd been to Natasha Denona's website, and she's like, it's 40% off of everything. I said, yeah, I've pretty much looked through everything that's on Sephora and there's nothing I want. She said, well, there's stuff on her website that isn't on Sephora. And when I went and looked, I saw this palette and I'd never seen it before, and I had to get it. So it is the most expensive palette I have in my collection, and I absolutely love it. I just have to swatch all these cool tones here because they're so pretty. Like, look at that silver. Like, that is gorgeous. I just freaking love this palette. And to look at it again, it just brings me so much joy. I need to put it in a shot my stash, but unfortunately, I keep overlooking it because I think it's too special to play with. That is the Natasha Denona 28 Blue Purple palette. And next we have the ABH Norvina Volume 2 palette. This is brand new to me. I just got it a couple of days ago. It was 50% off on the Sephora website, and that is where I bought it. So I haven't had a chance to use it. I haven't even swatched it. I haven't even looked at it too much, but it looks beautiful. I love this color. Those are pretty swatches. Not boom in your face pigmentation, but it's very, what's the word I'm looking for? There's a lot of dimension, shimmer and sparkle, so I think they'd look so pretty on the eyes. So I'm looking forward to playing with this palette. It was good to get it 50% off. And now for my heartbreak. This is my ABH Norvina palette, and it is broken. My husband knocked it off the shelf when he was putting up the air conditioner, and it is broken on right there. I tried to glue it back together, but I was unable to. But luckily, when it fell, none of the shades were damaged, only the plastic. So I have resisted the urge to buy another one. Perhaps if it goes on sale, I will, and I'll give this one to my daughter. But in the meantime, not too thrilled with these pressed glitters in here. I wasn't a big fan of this palette. It's all mid-tones. There's not a lot of shades for deepening up your look. And yeah, I found I got a little bit lost in it. If you are going to mess around with pressed glitter, why not that one? Because it's beautiful. Really pretty. So yeah, I would like a chance to dig around in this palette a little bit more and see what I think. Next we have my palettes from Odin's Eye. Start out with the Norns eyeshadow palette. I have only used this once. I'm not overly familiar with it. It was Morgan Turner who convinced me to buy this. She did a beautiful look with one of the smaller palettes, and I had seen these shadows that look so much like pressed glitters, and I was just dying to try them. You can see they are really, really sparkly. I love that because I love me some sparkle. Really super pretty. The overall color story here doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I do feel like, I mean, I suppose there's maybe something in here you could do. I don't know. It just bewilders me a little bit, but I have nothing but time on my hands to play with it, so there you go. So next we have the Verdandy. I just love the packaging on these palettes. They're just so pretty. This is probably my least favorite of the color stories of these smaller palettes. Those are mattes. They are really nice swatches. They felt just buttery smooth. And again, although they're not overly pigmented, there is dimension and sparkle there, which is really pretty. So yeah, not my favorite out of the bunch just because it's a little warm toned for me, but still really pretty. Next we have the Erd Palette. This is the one that I saw Morgan do the look with, and I just was blown away at how beautiful it was. This one is sort of a green, not sort of, it is a green color story. So that is an excellent swatch for matte that is that light in color. I don't know what's going on with those two swatches. That's really pretty. What did I do with these two fingers? That swatch. Okay, that's better. So you can see this one is sort of a white duochrome leaning mint. Anyhow, that is just gorgeous. I mean, in this color here, it's obviously on a dark base there, and it just looks so striking. Very pretty. And the last one is called Squirt. And I don't remember this color story, but oh, the packaging. Oh yes, here it is. Orange, yellow, pink, blue. I really love the theme of these palettes. These are sisters. Skuld, Verdandy, and Uld are sisters, and they control the past, the present, and the future. This is beautiful. Love those swatches. Very nice. I just love the sparkle in these shadows. Next I have two Mcgrath palettes. One is the Mothership 1, the Subliminal. I keep it in this beautiful packaging. And this is what it looks like. Oops. Opening it the wrong way around. La, angels are singing. It's really pretty. The cool toned story, this is the one I wanted the whole time. I finally bought it again with a $100 gift card from Sephora that I earned through points. I've only used this once, and when I tried it, I was not blown away. I prefer Natasha Denona shadows to Pat McGrath. The special shades are special. but this half the palette is just not that special. And the mattes are really, I don't know, I guess for the price I was expecting the eyeshadow to pretty much do itself, and that just didn't happen. But then, you know, I've only tried it once, so my thoughts on this palette come with a caveat that I've only used it once, and I just wasn't impressed that first time. But I still love the palette, I still love the color story, and I still want to play with it more often. Again, it's one of those palettes that for some reason, I think in my head, it can only be used for special occasions. But I need to get over that because I need to recognize that every day is a special occasion. And it doesn't matter if I'm going to be sitting home for the afternoon, I can still use something that's extravagantly pricey like this palette is. $170 Canadian for this palette. But it is gorgeous. The other Mcgrath palette I have is just one of her quads, and I wanted the Divine Rose 1 and 2 Mothership palettes because of the packaging, because I adore the pink rose packaging. So finally I allowed myself to buy this one quad and have this packaging, but that was it. I haven't tried this palette yet. It is currently in my Shop My Stash to try. So it is very pretty. Oops, I forgot to swatch the palette prior. Oh well. Forgive me, please. See, now that just doesn't blow my socks off. That's a little better. This pink felt very soft and silky, but this is a little disappointing. Maybe you have to just work it in. Let me see, I'll try and go again. Yeah, it's okay, but this one is nice. Okay, and I'm just coming back with this one to do some swatches for you since I forgot previously. I never know which way these open. So let's swatch the special shades. That's pretty. That's quite pretty, but it is just not the best blue that I have in my collection, honestly. So yeah, I mean, they're pretty. Nice swatches. And next we have the pretty Vulgar Nightingale palette. It is a cool tone story. This was my first cool tone palette, I believe. This one or Fame. I can't remember which one was first, but this one I got from BoxyCharm early on when I first joined BoxyCharm. And whoops. I have a lookup, I think on my Instagram, with this palette. And I was really happy with the look that I got out of it. So I haven't decluttered it because I do think it's a pretty palette, and these colors are up my street. That's a good swatch. Ooh, yeah, that one's nice. Lots of good pigment in these colors, so yeah, I'm quite happy with this palette and I am going to keep it. Next, I have the Pure Festival 2. I had the first one, but I gave that one to my daughter. And this is what it looks like. This is definitely a candidate for decluttering. I'm going to show it to my mom and see what she thinks. I do enjoy this lighter blue here. It's quite pretty. That is, see, that blue is as good as the blue in the Mcgrath palette. Yeah, those are pretty good swatches. So yeah, I don't know about this palette. I think that sometime, someday, it will be of use to somebody. Next we have the Purex Barbie. This was the first one that came out. And I had to buy it right away because I loved Barbie when I was a little girl so much. So there's this nasty pressed glitter here. But oh Lord, isn't it pretty? Very beautiful. I have used this palette a few times. I've actually used it in a recent collab. I used it for, I think, this shade right here. It is a pretty palette. Next we have the Purex Barbie palette. Sorry, I just said that. This is the volume 2. And I have never used this. I've swatched it a bit, but I have never used it. The layout of the shadows I find a little bit, well, I find it aesthetically pleasing. It's a little bit off-putting when you're trying to figure out your color story. It's kind of half cool, half warm leaning. And yeah, I think that we should see how it swatches. I do really love these pewter type shades. So yeah, those are pretty swatches. It's a very pretty palette. The packaging is really nice. Next we have the Revolution Chilled palette. This is beautiful. I did actually a collab with my good friend Nona from My So-Called Life 1977 Budget Beauty and More. Oh Nona, why did you change your name? I can never get it right. We did a collab on this with using this together, and I was really happy with the look that I got. It is a beautiful cool tone palette, and yeah, I just love it. I just wish that they didn't put these pressed glitters in, like I always say. But if you like greens, this is an inexpensive green palette. Mostly green. Yeah, so for drugstore, it's good quality. I was really happy with this palette. This brings us to the end of part 4. I was hoping I would be able to fit everything into 4 equal parts, but unfortunately I'm not. This is getting to be a little bit long, so I'm just going to wrap this up and then I will do a part 5. We are already to the letter S, so we are on the home stretch. I'm going to include a picture here. Somebody was asking me about my filming setup, so I'm going to include a picture here of what my filming setup looks like when I am filming these videos. Otherwise, time is our most precious resource, and when you spend a little bit of your precious time with me, I really appreciate it. I hope wherever in the world you are that you're well, that you're healthy, that you're happy. I'd like to ask you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, activate the notification bell, comment down below, and maybe a thumbs up for me. That's it from me for today. Take care. Bye-bye.